schools, but we work with both. Yeah, administrators pointing out in these building projects to get here, even with public funding. I can imagine what it's like for you guys out there with it. But
Says it's on.
if it's for the best of our kids, it's what I think about.
Mhm.
Sorry, we're having Yes, sound, so. Thing you have going on, so.
And part of what he was talking about, the building project is we have two modular classroom. Which is also a safety concern. So figuring out the Pearl Street situation would allow us, as they're moving forward with this church phase, to figure out the best plan of action to replace these classrooms.
You have a permanent structure in.
Correct.
Right now, they're modular.
They're modular. They've been in since 1999.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah.
Are you keeping the playground behind the school too, or
So
And
as
just
of now,
adding a
the
new one?
playground is behind the school.
Right.
But I think
you'll move it all
it's
over there?
dependent upon this decision as to.
Okay,
We can move across Pearl Street.
okay.
Build for growth. You may have growth
Oh, yeah.
right now. Are you limited on growth with your building?
Yeah, we're like, and like we are one section per grade. So I mean, we're pretty well locked into our classes. I mean, we're not gonna be able to grow to two sections of every grade, so. We're
Space.
say about 200-ish, like 204 probably are.
Yeah.
Probably our max number.
Are you trying to get bigger as far as classroom? More classrooms, that's your ultimate goal is?
I mean, I would say our ultimate goal is not to grow to have two sections of every grade. I don't think that's our goal. Our goal is just to be able to best serve the students that we have.
Better quality classrooms.
Yeah.
But we do want to remove the modulars.
Yeah.
Because you have kids going in and out, you know,
Oh, I'm,
they're leaving the main school building to get to the modulars, just go bathroom, you
So
know.
then those would be two classrooms.
I've been there.
And then potentially a couple more classrooms just to meet the needs of those students that we have, but we're not looking to like double in size. We're not looking to get 400 kids.
You got it.
Correct.
we have a school that burns. We had 24 to 30 modular buildings.
Yeah.
It was.
Are there any more questions or comments? Okay, now we hear from the public. Okay, do I have anyone in the public that wants to say this?
The only on Pearl Street, dealt with flooding forever down there. The only thing that myself ask, and my parents are behind me on this because their homes in back every time we have flood. Is that ditch from the center of the field where the parking lot currently is. That drain we know is obstructed. It has been since that Packard administration. They were supposed to come in and do a clean out that. So the collection box that sits over in Alicia's place never gets completely full when that is a flood state. So we can't get rid of the water quick enough. So that would be one instance. I would request myself that is done. In case if they do a 53s of lime or asphalt, they don't turn it into a swimming pool. So that being one of the scenarios, and at the cul-de-sac, it takes 98 to spin a fire truck or engines around. So there's always been kind of a set standard. So as long as that criteria is met, and there will be a request for a foolproof gate because for the north end of the buildings, that's right there. So for some reason, we had the back trucks down there, and that's how we had it. Yeah, just open the gate on that end. It sits there in Allen's yard. Yeah. Other than that, the entryway, if going into that parking lot, because some of us do use trailers, I don't want to have to stop traffic on Fifth Street to back a trailer down Pearl Street. I don't have enough room to turn one around myself, and I'm not going to pull people to try to do so. If it ends up coming to that, if you have a big trailer instance. I know my father owns a car trailer, and that can be challenging sometimes spinning around in the driveway. So the ramp that goes down there currently, if you put one there, because I'm sure you're probably going to crowd Jeff and Debbie's home, up here, put an extra 2 feet on it before it doesn't drag. When it goes in, that would be great. For people have places to turn their stuff around. It's a bigger instance. Well, where the turnaround, you guys kind of got it marked up. Sure. Where the existing down to the gravel, I'm sure you're going to crowd that back towards Debbie and Jeff's. When you do extend it a little further, where it's not such a quick drop, because us on Pearl will have to end up using that lot to trailer around to get going back the other way.
I think we can probably commit to, anybody on Pearl Street that wants to review the plan before we sink anything into money into anything, we can absolutely get input. If it's 2 feet here, 2 feet there, doesn't
Yeah.
kind of concern me.
The big thing is the water study. The rest of it's all whatever at this point. When it starts impacting people's homes.
I'm saying you'll be using engineering company.
Yeah.
Y'all work together with the
Yeah, I mean,
engineering company.
again,
Yeah.
they can bring the water jet down there and possibly take it to the city of Rockport, back dragging. Like it never got completed. But, they're in scope down at, well, buried a while back, and, it's got debris and riprap back all the way down through it.
So it did happen kind of like when we had the mandate for sewer separation,
Every time we have a big rain.
rain event. Well, we have rain events now, right?
Yeah, so anytime we have a big event, it's always happened in the past as well. As I said, it's been happening even if that Packer was back in administration. So it's just the process. of things. So that would need to be addressed.
So is that a good solution to have it
I
fleshed out?
really can't speak to it.
Right.
We have,
Putting you on the spot.
yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, it's kind of like we talked earlier, there's a couple, it sounds like there's a couple issues in town we need to take a look
Yeah.
at. And do a little bit of study work to figure out what's going on and if
Okay.
there's things we can do in the interim to clean out things, infrastructure that you've already got to at least maximize that. Certainly be on board with it, but I'd want to take a closer look. At both those
Okay.
issues.
So it sounds like we need to get that figured out before
Yeah.
long.
So we're looking at win-win, win-win. Okay.
Would the people who are living on Pearl Street, would they be happy with us addressing the drainage issue? We vacate the street. That's what my concern is, because we don't want to create another
So it's
issue.
not gonna hinder more than another. So I mean, it can be part of the moving forward process. There's a lot of times, like with this last flood event we had, we were opening inspection holes on our sewer system to get rid of water to keep it out of the house. So, it's been an ongoing issue. It's just something that said, once you put something that's a solid bottom there to where it can't get rid of the water in the soil, you built a swimming pool. And that's just going to hinder it and make it worse. So that's the only concern.
And regardless, if they move forward with the project, we still need to
Yeah,
address
that
your
needs to be
issue.
addressed.
Alicia, did you have any?
The drainage part, some of the issue has, in my opinion, is just when they separate the stormwater and the waste. I really shouldn't say. For argument, right? No, some of the issues though, in 2012, when they separated on Sixth Street, the stormwater and the wastewater is the problem. Because now granted, I have that drain that sits between Knights of Columbus and that big yard there. Nothing hits that. Nothing drains in that. It doesn't even catch it. On Williamson Street, the drain is on the south side. Whereas everybody knows that street comes out and goes downhill,
Mhm.
but they have it on the south side. And sorry, Eric,
I'm
you
making
guys,
notes.
they have it on the south side and versus putting it on the north side where the water is actually coming down the sidewalk and going straight in front of our house and then plus going on the road. And some of the road part too is because of every time pavement is, it
And
just overlaps and it's
Right.
gotten bigger and bigger and bigger.
Right.
To where when I bought the house, I know the road in 2008 road, like where my rock area is,
Hmm.
the road was about an inch or two down. So now it keeps going up and then of course they
has a crown.
crown it. So anyway, but I don't know how you're gonna fix that.
Okay.
That, you know what I mean? That would be, honestly, I think if they somehow could, you know, I don't know, because I haven't looked at
Right.
the map recently, but if somehow the drainage could catch on that north side, or does that make sense?
Yes.
And on the south side,
Hmm.
that would eliminate a lot of Williamson Street and the top. Now, St. Bernard at the end of the corner there at Pearl, which it catches, but when we have the monsoon,
Right.
it's like, it just goes over and then goes down the other side.
Which is a problem all over the city.
Yeah.
When we have huge rain events like we've been having lately, I mean, Main Street usually doesn't flood and it was all flooded. So,
But I do feel like they did the east side of Sixth Street. Richard might have something else to say because it is drained, but the one, and I think, Overmeyer, worked on that. Like last year or something like that, before the social, the one that sits there where the social, what is, he worked on that a little bit to get it to where it would drain more there. I mean, it's been draining. And, but that's the thing, is the slanting and
yeah, it's where Rockport starts going down into the. Okay.
but the street close off for me, I'm all for it.
Okay.
I think it would be, sorry, there's a lot of traffic, a lot.
Walkers.
Walkers.
And
I have a green bell just to see what's going on at this time. But no.
I think that's part of your concern too, is just that it walks through there with the kids. Yeah.
Sorry, I was gonna go. But no, because Pearl Street, they go from Pearl Street to Williamson Street, to Pearl Street, to Williamson Street, or straight to where the other. I think that would eliminate it, and I'm happy for that, because I'm waiting for one day someone to go straight into our house, or, you know, into our yard.
Yeah.
Because and they fly around that corner too. They don't even, sometimes they don't even stop. Outside, no, they don't.
Crazy.
And we have had several instances just this school year, of people coming onto property at night. We just recently, we had about 4 a.m., we had cops called for some people that were on the roof. We've had other people that are just kind of, sometimes they may just be moving through the property. Problem that obviously if we were to be able to gain that access, we'd be able to more secure our grounds.
Right.
You have cameras or?
We do, we
Okay.
do, yeah.
And where would the fence be? Would it be around the whole?
That's what, I think it just kind of depends on what comes with this. I mean, that's been something that's been discussed,
Okay.
obviously with a road running through our property, you're never gonna be fully secure, so.
Right.
Same with our parish property up top, we just have to figure out, once this is all settled, how to
Right.
best secure that, because we are getting more and more instances of, like they said, just people walking through and that, and then obviously the dangerous stuff being dropped and stuff, is definitely.
Yeah, you had to tell us a few years ago, our two youngest boys used to play over there and you found needles.
It's been a long time since I stayed up with.
Yeah.
It's, that's,
So you all live there, you want it,
I'm sorry.
you all live there and on that street and you all want it closed like that?
I wish they'd close it at Valentine's. night.
You want to live in a gated community?
Yeah, I mean, it's just endless. We get a lot of Owensboro fall over. They get kicked out of there, so they come there. And the drug traffic down there right now is horrendous.
Okay. I guess my question is, find it to Eric and the school. Do you think that we could coordinate our portion of discovering this and what the problem is with the water and the flooding at the same time? Or are you guys willing to hold back so that we can make sure that's all taken care
I
of?
think from our standpoint, our desire is to close the road. We're not changing any existing provisions. So the problems that are there now we're not going to impact this year. And I would say for future years, we're not going to be doing development. Any math development that we would do in a future year is going to be coordinated with
Okay.
this board, the board before this one, the city attorney, and we'll have to meet all of our discharge requirements. I'm not sure familiar with your discharge requirements, but my understanding, we can't legally create a swimming pool because we have to manage our runoff
Right.
before it gets to you guys. So from my standpoint, I think we should allow the closure of Pearl Street. Let us get our master plan and we'll come back and present from there.
Okay.
And even construction on the cul-de-sac is not happening right away. I mean,
Right.
you know, I said, we haven't moved forward and paid to develop plans yet because we didn't want to do that unless we knew
Of course.
this was the direction we could start heading.
Sure. And on the other side of that, if there's if the city wants a commitment, because one of my follow-up questions, if this is approved, is how long do we have to close it? If it has to be by a certain date, I think we're committed to, we'll do that. But we could also, I think by the start of school year would be a good goal to potentially get something done sooner than that. It's going to be hard to pull off.
Is there normally a timeline on?
There's typically an appeal period after it's voted on, so
Okay.
you wouldn't be able to start right away. It wouldn't be able to close it right away.
Nothing they're proposing with closing the road is really affecting this drainage issue that we got. It's just kind of.
Right.
Yeah, it is.
I was just thinking of access, you know, about what if we do have to go in there, and do some work and the fence is
You
already
guys,
up and
as
it,
a Public utility, you'll have access.
right. I just didn't want, you know, you guys to put a
tear
fence up,
something up.
then we have to do some work right there, then the fence has to be taken up. You know,
And we can check in before when we get to
Yeah.
that stage.
it'd be nice if we could get all that done before, yeah.
We need to
the-
establish a baseline now, what the problems are out there.
Okay.
We'll need that whenever they do come up with whatever improvements they're gonna do. We're gonna have to do that work anyway to know what our
Right.
capacities are or what our issues are out there now. So
Okay.
you're forward thinking to go ahead and do that now.
Okay.
The ordinance is as drafted reserve easements.
Okay. Okay, so I don't really see any objections necessarily, other than you guys are tired of being flooded.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
With the closure or not closure. Before we even talk about correction, that needs before any building taking place. And if that falls on the city, we need to take a look at that.
So,
So they are on the same ordinance and we didn't technically allow them to speak on the alley. So,
okay,
if you willing to do that. before
Okay.
we Consider voting or taking it under.
okay. You want to speak about the alley?
Well, the alley was proposed. When we talked about putting up fencing and securing our property, there's an easement there for that alley, so we were debating on whether to go up to to the alley.
Right.
Or go all the way through to where our parking lot is, so if that is vacated, then we'll have a better sense of where we.
Okay, is it east of your, is
That
it?
is, so on the north lot,
Mm-hmm,
where the picnic building is, or the
mm-hmm,
building, it's just east of that,
okay,
to that church back.
kind of about where your parking lot is,
Yeah, right, yeah.
right through there, okay.
To Pearl Street. When we talked about the Pearl Street, it just made sense to tie that in with it because our goal is to secure the property.
So we have the easement I know Eric hasn't had time to look at this and I'm putting him on the,
Does anybody know if we have any utilities in
I
there?
know, that's what I was wondering, and that's why there's an easement. Or an alley. No,
It was probably platted as an alley originally. I don't
It
think
is.
any utilities are.
I think we drafted it as if there are utilities, we're gonna maintain access, just like the Pearl Street.
Yeah.
So
So there was fencing, we'd have a gate with.
it'd be,
okay,
They were originally alleys,
were they?
because it goes across the street to between Knights of Columbus. I have
Uh-huh.
a lot. So there's an alley that ran back through there too.
Interesting. I knew I'd seen a bunch of vacations of all of that. Alleys around town even. Does anybody else have any questions or comments or care about the alley? No? Okay, well, I don't know what the next step is.
Your options are, so there's an ordinance drafted, that has been drafted, it is 2026-2. But I would, you need to close the public hearing as long as
Okay.
for the comments, and then take up the ordinance in the
Okay.
section of the agenda.
Okay, good. Do I have any more questions or comments? No? Do I have a motion to adjourn the public meeting?
I'll make a motion if you adjourn the public meeting.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now we're gonna open the other meeting, which would be, should I go ahead and address that so they can go if they want?
I think that would be,
Okay. So we have ordinance, let's see, 2026-2 vacating a portion of Pearl Street and the alley.
so we are not required to do a full reading of it, but it can be if necessary, but to summarize it. It does reserve a, easement for any existing utilities. And it just, there are they're both Pearl Street and the alley are on the same ordinance. And then section 2 just says that if no further finding of the council, the notice of that is the finding of the council that the notice was proper and timely given for the public hearing. There are no known public utilities at the time, but that an easement will be reserved. And so the ordinance would, voting for the ordinance, would be voting for vacation. So the council's options are to either that the council feels like or to vote for in favor of adopting the ordinance or to forget.
Okay, do I have a motion to,
I'll make the
Vacate.
motion.
okay, to vacate the, well, for the ordinance 2026-2 vacating the portion of Pearl Street Alley? Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That was a mouthful, Kathy.
I know. I wasn't about to say it all. Okay, so, yeah,
You're welcome.
you can proceed on. You're welcome to stay or you can go. It doesn't matter.
Thank you.
We'll keep you guys updated and.
Okay,
See you, Brandon.
Take care.
I guess whenever you get an engineer, you need to let me know who that is so ours can be in touch. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, we have comments. Mr. Eric. first.
Okay. I'll keep it as brief as possible.
I can read every one of those.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. We'll start with the usual, which is pay application for Division A, the wastewater treatment plant project, with the Broad Kemple for work that they completed January 26th through February 25th. This is pay application 17th. The total of all work minus retainage is $194,644.55. Kind of put that into context, there's about $840,000 remaining in work to be completed, roughly a $15 million project. So we are towards the end of it. I've got copies of the updated schedule if you guys would like it. We are later than what we wanted to be. It is primarily related to equipment delays. There was some delays earlier on in the project with some weather and some stuff like that. They are working out there, but there is a couple pumps actually, that are critical to the treatment process, and piping has to be fitted up to. Don't like doing it with templates. I don't like doing it with measurements. So until those pumps arrive on site, there's just certain things they can't do. They were supposed to be here in December. They're not here yet. They're now supposed to be here first part of April. Their updated schedule has them complete still sometime in July. There may be some demolition work and some other things going on past that point. So we're just kind of monitoring that closely with them. We will have to have an amendment for the inspection because it's gone on more. But I want to get a firm number on when we think they're really going to be done before I bring something back to you guys. The good news on it all, agency monies in place for such things in your budget. We're under budget for contingency and whatnot. We're not going to have to go ask for more money from anybody or anything. We've done a good job of keeping track of that. And we're towards the end. There's not a whole lot more that so I think we're in pretty good shape, and the plant's turning out nice. They're doing a fine job out there. So with that, we do have a progress meeting on Monday morning if anybody wants to attend. But with that, I'm comfortable going ahead and recommending for approval pay application number 17 with DeBraw Kemple for Division A for $194,644.55.
Do I have a motion to pay application 17?
I'll make a motion to pay our bills. One of those.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Carrying on with the same project, we do have a change order. Again, we're within contingency. The change order is related to heat tracing the piping that's out there. We did have in the original bid to heat trace all the pipes, but they need more power to supply to that than what is currently provided in the plans. So it's generally additional power sources for various locations on site, running additional electrical lines to be able to do that stuff. Ironically, they busted a pipe from freezing in January when they had that cold snap, the new pipes, and it was on them because it was still under the contractor's control. But it just illustrates why we need to have heat tracing on pipes. So with that change order is change order number 3 for $47,564.15. Again, it does fit the contingency, so we would recommend that.
Do I have a motion for the change order?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
What was it? What was the amount again?
$47,564.15.
Thank you.
Let's see. What did we talk about? Let's go to stay with sewer. We'll go to Division B, which we opened bids for last council meeting. Obviously, we had good participation in bids. We opened 5, got good numbers. They're under budget. We had previously, we had talked about possibly splitting this division into 2 divisions to try to save money depending on what came in. But honestly, the numbers came in well enough that it costs money to bid. It costs money to prepare those packages. I just don't think it's worthwhile to go to another division. So we'll be able to complete everything that was in that package within the budget we had established for it.
Good news.
Yeah, it's good. We've got good contractors, all 5 that provided bids, and your lowest responsible bidder was Blankenberger Brothers. They are local to us. We've done work with them in the past. They do good work. So I think they're perfectly capable of doing it. So at this time, we're going to recommend approval pending financing. We still have to close on all the financing, just scheduled for April. I guess it's scheduled some here. March 31st is the closing of your financing, so you can award the project in April. Recommend approval of Blankenberger Brothers as the low responsible bidder and awarding a contract to them contingent on finalization of funding for the amount of $13,373,947.10. 13373,947.10.
Do I have a motion to accept Blankenberger Brothers in lieu of the financing?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. You have the signatory authorization, right? The resolution for the signatory authorization for SRF.
Yes.
Yeah, that's okay. Skip that. Do that for you. Go to clean water, lead service removal, lead service line investigation and removal project. So, you guys were awarded a $1.95 million forgivable loan grant, if you will, to investigate and remove lead service lines within certain areas in the city that's identified on the maps up there. That project is ready to go out to bid. We actually advertised yesterday, and it advertises again next Wednesday as well. We will have a pre-bid meeting March 19th at 9 a.m. here. And then the bid opening will be April 16th at 5 p.m. That project. Don't need any action on that tonight. Informationally, that's
What was the date of April?
April
16th.
16th. Yeah, 5 p.m. There's a number of these going out right now. Evansville's got active right now. That's opening in March. Very similar setup to what we have. This is the one where we talked about getting right of entries on people's property to be able to actually do the work. What the work's going to involve is first potholing to identify what the material is of the service line. If it's lead, then it goes on a list to be replaced and will be replaced as part of the project. Basically, as funds allow, we're going to go as far as we can. So it'd be a little bit fluid as we go, really track things during construction, make sure we stay under that budget. Talked to SRF earlier this week about it and kind of explained the approach in their budget. Continuation of that, there's another round of funding. This is the last year for the funding that's in place for that grant that you got. So we were authorized to do the preliminary engineering report and prepare the application for that. That is due at the end of the month. It's April 1, submittal to state revolving loan fund for that. Basically, the areas that weren't covered by this project, we can't complete if we run out of funds. We're going to pick up from there and move on to your next priorities. So hopefully we don't find a lot of lead so we can investigate more and get more of it picked off. This is a federal mandate. You know, there's lead and copper rule now that you have to follow. You're actually getting a little bit ahead of the game by doing the work that you're doing. Technically have till 2037 to get all the lead out.
What's the procedure for getting that lead out? Is there replacing the pipe?
Yeah, replacing the pipe, and it's only the service line. So the main lines that are covering, they're not concerned about that. They're just worried about what goes from that main to the house. And in order for it to be eligible for funding, you can't replace just, if you determine the whole thing's lead or been determined to be influenced by lead, you have to replace it from the main all the way to the house in order for it to be paid. In some cases, you may be plastic from the water meter to the house. That doesn't have to be replaced, but
Once it's to the house, then anything in the house
you don't
is,
touch.
okay,
You
that's
don't touch.
the homeowner.
And this is why the right of entries are necessary, because technically, the way it works in most communities, in the same way in Rockport, is from the main to the meter, generally it's the responsibility of the utility. From the meter to the house is the homeowner. So that's why you have to get their permission in order to replace that water. So if you determine that there's lead in there and they tell you you can't get on their property, you can't replace any of it.
So we've had several people not made some door knockers, and we're going to walk around and put it on their doors because we have to have their permission to be able to do it. So
It's a great opportunity. I mean, I know everybody's like we get in our house and all that good stuff, but if you find it later and it has to be done, it's on their nickel.
right.
That part of it. If you find it now and it has to be done, these funds can pay for it. So that's a good thing. And it does include, kind of going back to the project that's out for bid, it does include replacing the shut off valve inside the house. So if they have one, if they don't, they'll replace it. The bids require a licensed plumber to look at that. We also require a licensed electrician to check the grounding in the house, because sometimes the electrical system's grounded through the water lines. It's not supposed to be, but sometimes it does. So
That's crazy.
we provide proper grounding for the house's water project as well. So,
Yeah, like we had made space.
yeah.
That's the reason I'm away out of it.
You will have a signatory authorization to allow the mayor to sign documents for SRF later in the meeting. So that is all.
All right,
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Thanks, Eric. Thank you.
Now we are going to move on to the Barnes and Thornburg
Yes.
items.
We have two different Barnes and Thornsburg items, one related to the project I was just discussed. And that is the first line item for Barnes and Thornsburg. This is the engagement letter for the attorneys. That would be the bond counsel for the project. And so there's a February 24th, 2026 engagement letter that the city attorney has reviewed and feels comfortable with. I will just point out on this particular one that the fee agreement is currently set up to be a typical hourly rate fee agreement. But as the case may be, if necessary, an amendment can be done later on if for SRF purposes it needs to be a flat fee. So that is the first one that we do need to vote on. No, we need to vote on for the mayor.
Do I have a motion for me to sign the amendment to the engagement letter?
Oh, sorry, this is the.
Oh.
This is the engagement letter for the website.
Okay. The engagement letter.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The second one is a supplemental engagement letter, and this is for an engagement letter to the original August 8th, 2025 engagement letter. And this is related to the Seward Works Revenue Bonds Council work for the series 2026A, 2026B, and 2026C bonds. It is moving that engagement letter to a flat fee engagement letter, two different fees. One related to Project B, which is a fixed fee of $35,000, and that is as it relates to the 2026A bonds and the 2026B bonds. The second being a fixed fee of $30,000, and that is for the 2026C bonds or the Project A bonds.
Do I have a motion to accept or for me to sign the engagement letter?
Yes, the supplemental engagement letter, the supplement to the August
8th.
Okay.
engagement letter.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then, as Eric mentioned, we have resolution 2020-1, which is the signatory authorization, so that the mayor can provide the SRF loan program the information, data, and documents pertaining to the loan process that may be required in order to engage in that process.
Do I have a motion to accept resolution 2026-1?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then the next item on the agenda is ordinance 2026-1. And this is just all we need to do today is move to introduce 2026-01, just so that people know what we're doing. It is an ordinance regarding sewer rates that relates to the major sewer project that's currently being financed by the SRF. And so a public hearing will be held at a special meeting on March 17th. All that needs to be done today is move to introduce
Do I have a motion to move to introduce ordinance 2026-1?
So,
I'll make that motion.
okay, second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
And we've already done 2026-2, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have an update, well, I really don't have an update on 832 West South Street and 631 Williamson. The surveys still have not been done. They are running behind. So as soon as that gets done, we will try to determine which trees we own on those properties and if they need to be taken down. The ditch to the Huffman that we've been working on, it really hasn't dried out enough for them to go and, walk or ride the whole ditch to see
But you
how
do
much
have,
that
you
project
contacted
might.
three.
Yes,
Yeah,
I have 3
okay.
people that are gonna give me quotes on that. So as soon as that's ready, we'll proceed with that too. And I think that's it. Does anybody else have anything else?
I'd like to just make a motion, mention that everybody knows my home. It's been for sale, it's on contract with me. Whether that goes through or not. But I may be here a short time, I may not be here. But as a council, I think we need to take a strong look at what's going on at one of the now.
Now, council.
And I understand there's no board to direct it. It's pretty well operated by 1 or 2 people. And things that I've seen, and things I've heard, I think we need to maybe take a little more interest in this one. Maybe Medicare and that kinds of monies need to be.
I know our chief is not allowed to go in. So, that's always been a problem for me.
It's
Okay.
some other problem. People being evicted over practically because they're trying to coerce the people there to tell them other people. And if they don't, they get evicted. I spent 2 of them in my home last night because they were put over the street last night. Not waiting on them out there to go.
So we have had the now counseling, that president come before and make a presentation, and maybe it's time he readdressed our board
His
to
name
give us a
Joshua,
status of what's going on up there.
which is first
So-
name,
Um,
Joshua.
I,
Bilby is his last name. I can't
Bilby.
think.
I'll just say this, I'm not happy.
so maybe it's can come before our board again. I mean, we've done this in the past, and
You hear the same thing.
I'm sure we'll hear the same thing, but let him
I'm not-
know that we are aware of issues that do surround those facilities or those, and we're concerned about the citizens of our town, so.
I think it's beyond that. I think people need to be brought in and checked. There's no there is no oversight to that program. They do whatever they want. If somebody gets mad at somebody, they're out the door with no recourse.
Right.
And if they have renters' rights and they pay their rent.
But they paid to be in the program.
And
right.
be in the program.
Right.
Well, 2 of them got kicked out over nothing for walking back across the property line. And he didn't want to, walking.
But he
over
didn't
there.
kick him out of the program.
But he kicked him out of the house. And if you're a realtor, you got 30 days and sometimes it's 60 days before they have to be evicted. Well, they were evicted last night, just like that, and had no place to go.
Is that not still funded by the government though?
I think it's part of it.
That's what I'm thinking.
They used to get $6,000 a person.
Well, they're getting.
I think part of it's
$100 a month.
private.
Get now. And the government's probably subsidizing that. Yeah, but I don't know. I'm not.
I had a problem for a long time.
Yes.
Honestly, these people, these guys, girls who comes in here, they're human just like we are. And whether they've done wrong or right, they're trying to get help. And that's not helping anybody when they put them on the street. Because they happen to walk, they won't tell them somebody. That's, I'm upset about it.
I'll say something to Chris.
But you know how I will vote. I'm not against the program. as much as
Are there any more questions or comments?
I know I was homeless for 2.5 years by the court system in this county. Spencer County.
Hi, did you guys have any
Just
concerns?
about Pearl Street.
Okay,
but whatever.
okay. It happened at 5. But if you guys want to say something, you're going to say it. We addressed the flooding problem.
Oh, yeah.
Do what?
We talked in length about the flooding on
Okay.
Pearl.
One of the only real issue blocking that street off is, one, I don't know to what extent we're blocking it off. We live right, I don't know that anybody would be more affected than my wife and I. We live right on the end of Pearl Street, right by the church. At the golf cart, I would just not be able to road with my golf cart. Instead of having to take it from the main road, which we were not allowed to. That is pretty much my main concern. Is there a
Okay.
way for me to get to the other street, for my,
Right.
I don't know if they're fencing the whole line right there. I don't know how they're blocking the road. If it's just a case to where I can just drive it from my yard into their parking lot and then get to the
At
side
this
roads
time,
there.
they don't know either. They don't have a plan yet for that part.
Perfect.
But what about the flooding? Are they gonna make sure that hole is cleaned out? So, because, I mean, if they can't even have parking down there. If it rains a lot, it's like a lake.
Right.
I've got pictures
We
of
got pictures
the lake. Some
Turn my
kids
yard
down the street
lake.
were,
fishing.
after it rains out there, here they come with their pole,
Gosh. So I introduced that to my engineer tonight. So whoever the school gets will be in contact with our engineer to make sure all of that gets fixed.
Yeah, because I mean, our house is up,
Mm-hmm.
and it's inconvenient for it to go underneath there, but it drains away from us. But
Mhm.
these neighbors next door have been flooded out
Twice.
numerous times, yeah.
At least twice. The third one's
Yeah.
And he
Mhm.
was here.
He was here
Yeah.
tonight.
We're the late ones. For
That's
whatever reason, we call it 6 o'clock.
You're fine. You're fine.
That's
May I ask, when you say flooded out with water inside the house?
The water,
From the
they're
curb.
on the ground, okay? So it went in their home
It went
twice.
inside.
It flooded their house. Actually, they had to start over again.
That's
I mean,
That's a drainage problem.
and
it's-
what it was is the people that used to take and mow the yard over there knew that hole had to be cleaned out, and it goes all the way underneath of, what is that? Sixth Street and out there into the sewer, and yeah. Well, if you're not keeping that cleaned out, it won't drain.
So grass clippings and everything were
Everything
going.
goes in there, yeah.
And just from what they told
Fish,
me, not to
apparently.
speak for them, but the drain that's across the street from us where the apartments are, we got that
Yes.
ditch right there. That is
That's
notorious for getting full, like every time it looks like we're gonna get rain. they're
And
right
they would
there
go over there,
cleaning
them
it
old
out,
people, and
which,
clean that out, to keep it from flooding.
I'd say Mike's getting little on the old side, be cleaning that stuff out. When I work 12-hour shifts, I'm not always like able to head it off at the pass myself.
Right.
What we talked about, Alicia Shelton was here too, and she was saying that she had noticed that after the storm sewer separation project was done a few years ago, we didn't do that project, but it basically separated the stormwater, from wastewater. That there were some issues after that, also with the drainage not working as well. There was some inlets that seemed like they were too high. I forgot you were sitting back there still. There was some inlets that were too high, maybe on the wrong side of the road. Stuff. So I think you really need to look at that whole area where you're at and on up.
It sounds like
Yeah,
even
and
Williamson.
It'll come right in behind us and go clear almost to those high rise, back in there. I mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Regardless of what they do, obviously they don't know what their plans are right now. I think we need to take a look at what the problem is now.
Yes.
Yes.
we need to have an idea of that and then capacities for when they do come forward with a plan to know what we've got in place. And
Well,
storm drains are terrible. because
I'm
they were
pretty
put in
sure
a
it's
time-
still the same old crap from 100 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
So it needs to be bigger crap.
Right, yeah. And we don't know the condition of the pipes. It's there, yeah.
You know. Trying to get,
After a big rain event, like some of the ones we've been having, does it move out pretty quickly once the rain stops?
will if it stops,
Okay,
but if it's day on day, no. You know, I mean, it will recede
Sure.
from the houses, and thank God it didn't get them this last time, but.
Yeah. because that says something too, I think,
You know,
if it is moving out
Something in
eventually.
place.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and just like something simple, I don't know. I wonder if he's a fence up across that, like a small fence to help catch the trash from going in there.
Mm,
Maybe like the same with the other drain and parking lot, just to keep from the chip bags and
mhm.
bottles and stuff just getting in there. Something that's not redesigning the whole system, but just keep the drains. open.
well, if you got bigger, pipe, and then you maybe made it, clear it out and put concrete where it actually is an actual drain. I mean, if they want to go across it, they can put a little bridge across to do their mowing and whatever.
And the drain you're talking about is in
There's
your
one
yard?
right there in that parking lot that goes
Okay.
underneath them. The gravel? Yes,
Where they just put the gravel
Yes.
still, yeah.
because it used to be just,
They've not
it
done-
used to be just a field,
Right.
but then it would drain.
I live in the White House.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought I recognized you. I see you sitting down. But, yeah, if
They
they,
didn't do nothing with that when, or race. I don't think any,
No.
I've lived where I've lived.
I've owned that since 1987.
Yeah, and they've not done nothing in
No.
that field because the other church, they own that.
The other church had it and they
Yeah.
bought it from them, yeah, that,
So I don't think anything's been done with that.
and they did bring some pipe in and was gonna do some stuff. I don't know if it's the church or the water company or something. They had the pipes laying across our, like, there by our, there where the trees are at.
Oh, yeah.
And they laid there for a long time. I don't know, I think somebody come and said, well, it's over here. And I'm like, yeah, it's supposed to be for the water company, I do believe, or whoever.
I
Was
think
gonna,
they brought those in when they made that parking lot, maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
no, I think, I seen the, like Davis and them dump that stuff there. And I think they had cleaned out and worked on some of that stuff and rooted and took care of some stuff before. So, I mean, some try, some don't. But when they got different guys mowing, I'm like, I was like, dude, you gotta clean this out because if you don't,
Are these people that are mowing, are they with the church or?
they're with the church.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, but,
Okay.
I don't know if that one on that died or what, but different ones.
And then turning that into a parking lot is great, except for, like they have the church thing, there's parking. and,
Yeah.
All
Right.
that is great. And like then blocking the street off, I like it. Nobody should be going as fast on that
Yeah,
side.
but that'll stop the
With all
speed
them kids and all that stuff.
demon,
It's
no
just-
matter how
Right.
many signs
Shouldn't
you
be
put
doing
up or whatever. It's not stopped them from like drag racing down there. And some kids gonna get hurt. People in apartments, they're little bitty kids. I seen look down there crawling across the road one day. And I'm like, somebody's supposed to
Right.
be a kid the way they drive,
Right.
And they got signs up, kids that play it. Nobody makes them. They just, awful.
Okay.
Thanks for your exempt.
Yeah, that,
Thank you. exempt.
That's right.
May I ask you, may I ask you y'all's names, Becky?
Jeff and Deborah,
Okay.
Jeff Roan and Deborah,
Okay.
Deborah Bryant
Jeff
originally.
and Deborah, okay, I just wanted. Your home is in discussion, I know what we're talking about.
Mhm.
I'd moved here I moved to Rio and rented from Laura Nicely in 2002.
Yeah.
And then ended up moving into Rockport about 6 years. MPW for 7 years. Like 7 years to the day I got hired on. I love it here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, good. Did you have something to say?
no, I did not. I normally do, but I don't.
Well, shoot, I just knew you would.
Thank you.
No, I don't think so.
Thank you for coming, Elizabeth.
Oh, somebody
You came in there.
Come here with us. We go at 6 o'clock.
We're sorry, all the pizza.
The party's over.
We had a burger week.
Yeah.
Oh,
Macaroni for-
well, I will tell you that the council did move to accept the ordinance. So the school will proceed with.
But it's going, they did say it's going to be years, you know, it's
Yeah,
not gonna
well,
happen
I figured
this
that
year.
because
It's gonna
they're
take a
have to
while.
Figure out some way to stop the water before they even go forward to even let little, you can't let little kids play down there on rainy
Right.
days. They're gonna be.
And we had that discussion with them and they're in agreement with us that they'll work hand in hand to make sure that problem gets solved before or during.
And we're for it. We just have the one.
Okay. Right.
You know, we paid the $20 and then you're not supposed to get out on this road. Well,
Yeah,
that's
the
the only
street-
way out. How are we gonna get?
I
out?
know, and we will have to try to address that because I don't know.
Because the people next door.
I don't know.
are Elderly, they have one and they always go pick up their grandson at school, which means they'd have to go all the way around and pick up the kids, but they'd have to come out of that road.
Yeah. Okay.
Everybody's ready to make it.
Jason, did you come back for a
I
reason?
pay just as much for insurance on my golf cart as I do my car.
You mean Brandon?
I do.
I do
Oh, Jason.
Yes.
for the same.
You
Brandon,
know,
did you come back for a reason? Ask a question?
Just seeing what we're doing.
Yeah, well, I kind of thought there'd be more discussion. Just thinking that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, I will talk to the police about what will happen with the golf carts and Pearl Street. So,
yeah, because I mean,
When Brandon needs to know, they need to know as
Mhm.
well
Yeah, sure. I'm sorry, Tom.
about the golf carts having,
access
Access to
to
get
get
out.
out. of the road, Yeah,
yeah.
And,
I mean,
Well-
I guess they could open up the rest of Pearl Street and let us go across and come out that. I'm not sure they're not gonna.
We're not asking for people to go.
Right.
Right.
I'll notify buildings and grounds of the moment situation,
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
but I would stand. That was.
right. Does anybody else have any questions or comments? Lee?
I would like to say
Okay.
something. So with Daryl, vacating his home and moving on to greener pastures,
If it works.
if it works.
Mhm,
you know,
that's
this-
fine.
I don't know if this is your last council meeting or not, but I just wanna,
if it- The last one will be next month.
okay.
Okay.
And it may
Okay.
be by phone, but I
Okay,
have, if it works like it's supposed to be, I have possession of the property until about the 20th.
Okay.
but I just wanna,
Yeah.
thank you for your commitment to Rockport and the city council, and I know it hasn't been an easy
Mm.
project, but you've, certainly made an impact on Rockport with with the riverfront and the boat dock, and we appreciate all your efforts, and we just want to commend you for working with the council on that project, and we will continue to move that forward. And we
Makes
hope
me
that,
feel good.
we
Mhm.
hope
say
that
that.
you are here with us to celebrate a ribbon cutting on the day that we do,
Oh,
cut that ribbon at that boat dock.
I'll have to,
Okay,
I'll
good.
have to.
How
Absolutely.
far are we on the boat dock?
We're getting there. The Army Corps of Engineers right now, and it's on their timeline.
We're
right
working with the government.
Yeah.
But it is a project that the city is very invested in
Yeah.
moving forward with, and we have Daryl to thank for,
Let's have
His
lots of
efforts.
bank access.
right. But I would like to thank you again, Daryl, for your time and commitment to Rockport.
But I think
So-
that would, one of the greatest assets we have for our people here is
Is-
have a riverfront
Hmm.
access to
That's
the
right.
river. Not only for emergencies, but pleasure,
Recreation.
fishing tournaments. Just my little town, everything was centered around the boat dock, if anything went on. Yeah, if you want to overtake me, just hang out at the boat And our little town here could be very much down here. Talking about, you know, what we're talking about. The houses up on this hill. Yeah, I'm looking at a 2 bedroom rent. And hopefully down through the middle of the wooded area, we got about 12, 14 acres there we have access to now. And it belongs to you, the city. Built right down the middle of it, going one way with campers coming through the area. They will stop off and spend the night. I would hope no more than 2 weeks, because I know one homesteaders that they come in here and own it.
Spencer County has a ordinance, 180 days for a camper, and that's it. But then they'll move it out.
I see a 2 weeks on this part, be a 2 weeks limit. And I'd rather sit idle than have people think they come here and set up ownership. And,
Didn't Indiana just pick up a thing about homeless people, or was that Kentucky? It's in the news that they picked up some kind of ordinance that they couldn't stay like in public areas and put up camp. You know, other than the police would be allowed to take them out, send them on their way.
So
It's on the news.
that issue so far, have we? Homeless issue.
We have some,
Last night,
yeah.
we would have had 2 on the riverbank then.
Yeah, down at the bluff.
Yeah, you would have had 2 last night.
We
but I
have.
hadn't taken,
yeah,
I didn't let
We
them
have.
sit there.
we don't have it, they don't hang around long.
Hmm?
We don't hang
Daryl,
around long. a lot
thank
of
you.
times.
And
Yeah.
Todd
Yeah.
sent his message
No,
via
thank you.
text and said,
Yeah.
thank you, Daryl.
Well, I appreciate the encouragement. I've had some non-encouragement at times, but that's part of the job.
Mhm.
Well, not every, we can't make all the people happy, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's things that I fought for, and I still believe in. And I've made most of the council people mad. I'm sorry, but one of the biggest items we got was health insurance and personal. I think it ought to be bid. You guys have different feelings, and that's okay. But I just think people with that big item, we need to see if we're spending our money wisely, or if we can save money and still get the same benefits and allow other people a chance to get to bid. But each community has its own. And I think it's up to the mayor and the council if they, anyway, it's y'all's opinion. And I know I
Yep.
hacked a couple of you off, but I'm sorry. I just, that's the way I've done it in other places. It seemed to work. It was never questioned. Anyway, that's my, thank you again.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
We wish you the best. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Do
I'll make that motion.
I have a second?
I'll second.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Okay.
Don't go anywhere, you gotta sign it.
Yeah.
Okay. We got-
No, no.
6 times.
Mhm.